He honi he aloha I alai no ke ala li pu'u mai ka pu'u olo manalai I ke kaine o kaiwi Ilihia au I kanani lai O ku'u aina hanau Haina mai kapuana lai He aloha la, he aloha He aloha la, he aloha Pahonu was a community space, but it was built by a chief named Kui Kui, and he was the chief of this area. It was built to basically be his refrigerator. This was his icebox. This is where he held his most prized meat, which was turtle meat back in that day. Some people know the pond to be named after his chiefess, so Pahonu, which is kind of interesting when we talk about just the literal meaning of it and what it represents to that time and that era. If you were a fisherman out in this area, you would bring your turtles caught here. Sometimes you were sent out to go and catch turtle. They were all brought here. Turtle meat back then was just kept for the ali'i. Unless you were of royal blood or chiefly blood, you couldn't consume turtle meat.
So when we started this project, restoring the wall, people were asking, why are you going to close it up? Is it going to become a pond again, a turtle pond or a fish pond? Basically, without saying it, they're asking if we're going to take away the kids' playground. Never. Never was that the intention of this space. But knowing what our kupuna did thousands of years ago, putting this place together, for us to be able to be here and to play and to grow and to fish and to feed our families and to learn different Hawaiian practices, whether it's fishing or the moon or the winds or whatever it is. The purpose of this was only to perpetuate that for the next 1,000 years.
Pahonu was an old turtle enclosure that we are currently restoring, redoing the wall. It's been hasn't been taken care of for the last, I would say 60 or so years since somebody else tried to repair it. And so the Waimānalo Limu Hui started off by planting limu on the outside of the wall, just to regrow limu in the area. And we felt that because we were planting on the outside of the wall, it was our responsibility to take care of the wall as well. In 2007, we sought the permit to rebuild Pahonu. We got it during the summer. We hosted an event with Kua, which stands for Kua Aina Ulu Amoy, which is a group that we're part of. They get a whole bunch of Kanaka communities together so that we can participate in stuff together and help each other out in our spaces. So when we hosted it, we had maybe 150 people come to that first one where we first started to build. We made sure we had some kind of activity that was makai, since we are the Limu Hui. We started off working on Pahonu, and then we also had a project that weekend at Mauka on the farm, so that they could experience all of Waimānalo, both Mauka and Makai.
Alapu coming together because it takes a village to do it. It really started off as just a few people, and it built itself into a really communal space. Eventually we started hosting community events here, teaching people how to rock build, teaching people how to build relationships with not just rocks but a space again. And that became really important for us as a foundational stone for us to move the community forward. There's not a lot of historical information on how the wall was built, what it looked like. There's no photos of it from the past. And so a lot of our time was spent studying those things and making better decisions, changing what we did, engineering things differently. We started to rethink the purpose, the intention, all of those things that make us do what we do. And we reset ourselves. We are starting to build differently, changing the community with us.
We've gotten a lot of work done during COVID. Some of us have been off, so we chose to use our time out here in the ocean where we're separated from everyone, able to do work, get in some exercise, if you want to call it that. We started to go back on the side that we finished last winter. Kanaloa came and during the winter season and told us that it wasn't built the right way, so he took it down for us.
You know, we spent a lot of time building. We really honed our skills in the beginning, practiced our cultural past. We were on a pretty good path. We got the wall up to a certain height, we had the width going, we got length in there, and we left one night with this wall almost 6 feet tall. It was a build night for us, and the next day when I returned on a Friday morning, the wall had pretty much crumbled. And it was heartbreaking. There was a lot of fear in that. And for me, I use the word fear because I felt like maybe someone tampered with our stuff, you know, and there was this thought of anger, there was this thought of disappointment, there was this sadness that just kind of overwhelmed me fully. It was a deflating moment for us to think that we've come so far. It really helped us slow down, take a little bit more time to do what we're doing, study things more consciously, you know. I think it happened at a really good time for us as well, before we had gotten even farther into the project. And it has continually left its impact for some of us. And it's a constant reminder. It sits right now as a constant reminder because we haven't come back to this section. Now that we knew how the North Swell impacted us, the additional winter season, king tide, we had really good data now that showed us what was going to happen if we didn't address certain things. And so we changed what needed to happen and we started to address the north side of the wall, which before this was just underwater.
As we've been working on the wall, we've been doing our kilo, which in Hawaiian would be to take notice of what's happening in the space.
With today's conditions and the wind direction really blowing straight from Manana, this is the only section of wall that gets water head on, right at the turn. Whereas all of the other wall parts, the water is hitting it at an angle. Same for this side. This side is at a sharper angle.
So we created our online form that we've been filling out every time we're in the space, taking note of all of the different fish that we're seeing in the area and what species are here and how many we see and what activities people are doing in the pond, so that we're aware as we're building to be able to make sure to accommodate for all of the fish that are here, all of the invertebrates that we find within the wall and surrounding the wall. And we want to make sure that what we do is pono for the fish, the invertebrates, and us, the community, being in the same space. So our vision of what Pahonu is going to be in the future would probably be to be able to maintain it as a community space, to be able to teach people the art of puhahumupaku so that they can learn how to do dry stacking the Hawaiian way, but also to be able to do what we did as youngsters when we grew up over here, being able to fish off the wall. There's a bunker over here that we all learned as little kids, we all jumped off of and swam through. It's just a community space for Waimānalo to be able to gather.
Potentially we're going to see limu planting. That's one of the big goals, is to get the wall into a space where now limu can be grown, cultivated right here in Waimānalo and put out into this bay again. It serves as the foundational building block to life in this bay. Helping people identify limu is a huge part of that as well, making sure that people can recognize their limu, how to use it, how to properly handle it. After that, who knows what the opportunities are. There's a lot of things that can happen. It's just, is it what the community needs and wants? Are we honoring Pahonu in the same way all the time? Our first goal is to encourage as many people to learn rock building, get familiarized with the space, this wall, learn how to engage with this space again, because it's not just a wall anymore. It has a name, it has a function, it has a purpose, and now it's the time to let that kind of live again. There's never gonna be the day when all of this is just done. We're not gonna just finish building the wall and leave. This work is lifelong. It's something that has to be perpetuated generation after generation after generation. And so our responsibility in learning how to do it well, teaching the next generation how to do it well, allows them the opportunity to continue to steward this space as it needs to be, taking care of it, maintaining it, continuing to honor it. Mahalo.